How we doing? How we doing? This is Destination Denver, Colorado, and I get it. You're thinking about making the move to Denver, but you have to figure out, man, how the heck am I going to afford it? Well, today I'm here to cover the cheapest places to live near Denver, moving to Colorado in 2022, starting right now. This is Destination Denver, Colorado. I'm your host, Jimmy Everett, and listen, if you're interested in learning all the ins and outs, pros and cons to moving or living in or around Denver, Colorado, then this is a channel for you. So that subscribe button and notification icon popping up below, especially if this is your first time visiting the channel, make sure you click on that as I'm dropping new videos for you each and every week. And listen, as much as I love getting a little creative here on camera, I'm also a licensed mortgage broker covering the entire state of Colorado and team with some of the city's, Denver that is, most talented realtors. So the number and email popping up on your screen, know that I'm always the person answering your phone calls, answering your texts, answering your emails. We're helping people move to Denver each and every day. Would love to be a resource for you. Now that we have that fun-filled stuff out of the way, let's get to what we're here for, and that is, what are the cheapest places or most affordable places to live near Denver if you're moving here in 2022? All right, so folks, right off the bat, I want to be candid with you. When we talk about cheap, when we talk about affordable, everything is going to be perspective. Depending on where you're moving from, you may be coming to Colorado and going, oh my God, everything is expensive, or you might be moving here and going, everything is dirt cheap. Or you might be somewhere in between. So when we talk about cheap, affordable, it's all going to be perspective. Feel free to tell me that I'm insensitive or that I'm super sensitive, but I just want to be real with you on that level. So area number one that I would check out as far as affordability is Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Wheat Ridge is located due west of Denver, about 15-20 minutes outside of the city. It neighbors very popular areas like Sloan's Lake, Edgewater, right near Highlands. So a very popular community. Now your median home price in Wheat Ridge right now sits at $740,000 for a sale for a detached home, but it sits at $262,000 for condos. It is one of the more affordable condo locations that you're going to find in Denver. Now, of course, that's going to be specific. Some condos are going to be pricier than others, but certainly a great area to look for those. And as far as rents, the median rent for a home in Wheat Ridge was $2,250. The average median rent for an apartment or condo was $1,800. You're gonna find that to be pretty desirable and a pretty good price point to hit, especially when you think about a community that is that close to Denver. Area number two is, and again, my bias coming out, Lakewood, Colorado. But Lakewood has been this for a long period of time. So the median home price in Lakewood sat at $700,000. The median condo and apartment price sat at $390,000. Again, some of you might be going, oh my God, $390,000 for a condo, but that close to Denver, Lakewood being about 15-20 minutes, again, west of Denver, very similar to Wheat Ridge. $390,000 for a condo is going to prove to be very competitive in most markets around Denver. And as far as rent, you're looking at $2,300 for a detached home. You're looking at about $1,900 median for apartments in Lakewood. Now, one thing to keep in mind, we talk about like Wheat Ridge. Wheat Ridge is a pretty small, geographically speaking, it's a pretty small community. I say this as I get this random cramp in my calf, so you guys can make fun of me as I hobble around. So Wheat Ridge being geographically pretty small, Lakewood is a sizable community. So you're gonna have areas where you look at apartments and they're gonna be $3,000, $3,400, $3,500 a month. They're gonna be in areas where people really want to live. Then you're gonna look in areas, and I'm not saying they're bad areas, I'm not saying they're dangerous, I'm not saying they're anything like that, but they're maybe a little sprawled out. They're a little farther out, a little more suburby, if you will. You're gonna need to drive to the things that you wanna do, or you're gonna need to walk farther to the things you wanna do. That's where you're gonna find more of that affordability. So when you think about Lakewood and some of these communities that are larger, you gotta think about that location really driving that price. Like Wheat Ridge, Lakewood gives you, I think, some great lifestyle choices. You're close to Denver, you can get down to the city. You're also close to the mountains. Half of Lakewood or the west side of Lakewood is on the Front Range. The east side of Lakewood borders Denver, so you're close to the city, you're close to the mountains. Best of both worlds. Now, as you start checking out Denver, you're gonna start to notice that from an affordability standpoint, now Aurora is going to be popular. You're definitely going to wanna check out areas of Aurora. I did not include it on our list today because at the end of the day, I think Aurora is gonna be one of the first places people check out. And because of how vast Aurora is, it can be one of the cheapest or most affordable, or it could be one of the most expensive. One thing you're gonna notice is that south of Denver tends to be more expensive. So we don't have really any southern areas on this. We're focused on a couple communities west, and now we're gonna jump into some areas north. So next up on our list and farthest away from Denver is Brighton, Colorado. I'm including Brighton, even though it's about an hour drive from Denver, because of its popularity. It's growing, a lot of new developments, a lot of new communities out there. It's becoming more and more popular, and people are accepting that the benefit they can get from being in Brighton, even though they may still work in Denver, is worth that drive. So the median home price up in Brighton sits at $668,000 for a detached home, sits at $410,000 for a condo. Now, that price point, you might hear that and go, that doesn't sound very affordable. One of the things that makes Brighton so popular is their new builds, their construction, their new developments. The houses that you're getting up there for the price points tend to be a much nicer home in a much nicer planned development that you might see getting closer to Denver. As far as rents, homes can still be pricey. As far as detached homes, their rent sits at about $2,800, but apartments, condos, median price sitting at $1,750. So a lot of flexibility there. And Brighton, I mean, not just the new developments as far as homes, they're building new restaurants, they're building new bars, they're building new things to do. So it's not like you live in Brighton, but you have to drive all the way down to Denver to be able to do anything. Brighton is a self-sufficient area. And I work with a lot of friends, not just clients that have bought homes up there, colleagues I do work with, friends that have moved up that way. In Brighton, people tend to like it. We get they get high likability scores. If I could get my mouth to work and explain that better, I would. But apparently my mouth is not going to work at this part of the video, so just ignore me. But don't stop watching because I'm not done yet. Area number 4, and listen, I gotta be honest, this could change by the time I'm done shooting this video, but area number 4 as far as affordability and cheap is Green Valley Ranch. And I know cheap has such a bad context, I'll just keep saying affordable, but Green Valley Ranch. Talk about an area that gets more and more popular with some of their new developments, the community, everything they're doing out there. Green Valley Ranch hits all those marks. So Green Valley Ranch is located northeast of Denver, kind of stretches out a little past Commerce City. It is admittedly one of the hottest sellers market that Denver has been for a while, and part of that is for its affordability. So the median sale price for a detached home in Green Valley Ranch sits at $530,000. That may sound expensive to you, but for Denver, $530,000 is about as low as you're going to see for a detached home. Condos currently sit at $360,000 for their median price. And then as far as rents, you're looking at $2,750 for a detached home, $1,850 for an apartment. Very competitive in comparison. In Green Valley Ranch, you're about 25, I'd say 30-minute drive from Denver. Geographically, you're not that far. It's just kind of the route you have to take. Of course, I haven't spent as much time in Green Valley Ranch as I should. So there are routes to get to certain parts of Denver faster that the people that live there know, and that's why they beat me to get to places that we're going to all the time. But it's like they keep it a secret, bullies. But overall, Green Valley Ranch continues to be a more and more popular area for people moving to Denver and looking for that affordability. Certainly a place that you're going to want to check out. And area number 5, last on our list, is Northglenn. Obviously located north of Denver, about a 20 to 25 minute drive depending on traffic, basically straight up I-25. I have to include Northglenn for a few factors. Its affordability, certainly, its popularity as far as single people, couples, families, it gives you a lot of flexibility there. And the fact that one of my groomsmen at my wedding is a police officer up there, and I don't know, I like to make cops happy. I kid. So your median home price up in Northglenn right now, detached home sits at $513,000. Again, that is, whether you like it or not, a pretty solid number for Denver. Condos sit at $425,000 for sale. And rent sits at $2,700 for detached homes and $1,600 for condos and apartments. $1,600, the best on my list of any community that I have covered so far. We've covered south, we've covered west, we've covered north. Obviously this most affordable, but Northglenn knocks it out of the park as far as apartments and condos. Now the knock on Northglenn is going to be that you're not really close to, and there's nothing, there's not a lot in Northglenn for you to do. Most people that I talk to in Northglenn, they're going over to Westminster, they're going over to Thornton, they're getting down to Denver. I don't know how big of a deal that is. I really don't. I don't think having things right necessarily in your community. We live in a world where we drive places. The idea of driving 10 to 15 minutes to get somewhere to do something doesn't blow my mind. I do it. Take that what you will. If you want to walk from place to place, then chances are you're going to have to pay more money. That's just how it works. The world isn't fair. I don't know what to tell you. Now listen, folks, I understand when we talk about cheap, when we talk about affordability, I go back to that. It's all perspective. And this is what I can't emphasize enough. Location matters. You'll always hear it. Location, 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 to nauseam. The better the location, the more walkable it is, the more amenities it has, the easier it is to live. I'm not talking about from a safety standpoint. It's not like, let's go with some cheap rent so we can live in the most dangerous part of town. I'd never encourage that, and nothing on this list involved danger in any way, shape, or form. They're all safe communities. But when we talk about your livability, if you want to be in an ideal area for you, and that ideal area involves being able to walk to the shops and be around all the liveliness, odds are it's not going to be cheap. Odds are it's not going to be affordable. But if you're looking to save some dollars, keep some money in your pocket, and you're not against a little bit of a drive to places or maybe a few less amenities, then this list will hopefully hit that mark for you. Any questions on it, obviously feel free to hit me up. That number and email popping up on your screen. I'm always the person answering your phone calls, answering your texts, answering your emails, there when and if you need me. This is Destination Denver, Colorado. I am a very randomly calf cramped up Jimmy Everett's. This has been the cheapest, AKA most affordable places to live near Denver if you're moving to Colorado in 2022. Until I see you next time, peace.